In this video, Rick and Sharon compare Assateague State and National Campgrounds in Maryland.
The landscape of the scenery, it's all pretty much the same. And there's not that much difference even in the way the parks are laid out. Now, in terms of the amenities, we liked the state park due to the fact that it had bathhouses with hot showers, and the bathhouses were in decent shape. State park had these loops that gave you a little bit more of a sense of privacy. You didn't feel like you were jammed together. Now, from the national park standpoint, in their defense, we did a totally different type of camping in the national park. We chose to tent camp in the middle of the dunes. And as a result, we couldn't even have our vehicle right at our campsite. We had to haul all of our gear in several hundred feet on a very hot day. And we're in a campsite that is nothing but sand and a few mounds with vegetation on them.
It was way more rustic where we were in the national park. We were beach camping.
So they did have recreational vehicle campsites in the national park.
That was the worst part, I think, with the bathroom.
There was no hot water. You didn't have a bathhouse per se. You had these latrines, which were a pit latrine. The only different type door shower. You weren't even in a room that had a full wall. They were just these barrier partitions. You know, you could look underneath of them and see whether they were occupied or not, because you could see people's legs in there.
Personally, I liked the state better because, we were right next to the bathhouse. The bathhouse was very nice. Plus, I think we saw more horses in the state park.
Our campsite in the state park was more what you would expect to find in a conventional campground, in that you had a asphalt slab for your vehicle and your trailer or recreational vehicle to be parked on. And then you had a picnic table and a fire ring as well. The physical size of the campsites were pretty decent, so you weren't 10 feet away from the next campers to you. And it seemed that a lot of the parks, I think the staff were trained that in periods of low occupancy, they don't just pile you all on top of one another. They spread you out as much as they possibly can.
With Assateague, you need to book way in advance to be able to get a spot, especially on the weekend. However, I think what happens is sometimes people don't show up.
In your state parks, and even some of the national parks, the peak season runs from the 4th of July through Labor Day. So you can pretty much expect that there will not be anything that it hasn't been reserved months in advance during that time period.
Right. Now, you may be able to go that day and find if someone didn't show up or canceled.
But outside of the 4th of July to Labor Day, there are certain state parks that you can go there, particularly during the week, and you'll find that the occupancy is 50% or less. And even the weekend, you'll be able to walk in without a reservation. You can get a seat.
So the state park I would do again in a heartbeat. I wouldn't really recommend going in July. It was so hot and so buggy. We went in September and everything was perfect. It was just a perfect, I think it made up for the July trip because it was like 100 degrees when we were there.
We're in this mindset that the peak vacation time is between the 4th of July and Labor Day. Everybody wants off. And generally, the month of August is the heaviest. What we don't realize is if you're looking at a trip to the shore and you're looking to be in the surf in the water, that the water temperatures in the ocean can often be warmer in the 2 weeks of September than what they are the month of August.
And every time we go somewhere in July, it's hot as hell and it's buggy.
Right.
That is the buggy season.
But, I'm getting older now, and I must have been in bugs less than I used to when I was younger. But kind of to be taken for granted, and you just assume that if you're going to, you got two choices. You either go out and put up with some bugs, or you stay there.
Yeah.
So that's your choice.
So that's it, guys. That's comparing Assateague National Park and Assateague State Park.
Rick and Sharon have hundreds of videos, so be sure to check out some more of their camping adventures.